Hey now, people, it's Saturday morning. Good morning. Whew, I'm kind of doing that because I woke up with a headache and it's starting to dissipate. Before I go on to music, this morning I was awakened by a heavy rainstorm. I mean, heavy. It was a bucket being poured on from the sky. Noticeably different than just a what I call a regular heavy thunderstorm. I am not in denial of the fact that the way that the weather systems are going is somewhat different. I'm not going to argue about why, because I don't know. But I think that it's fairly intelligent to infer that our activity on this planet has impacted those patterns. Hey folks, thanks for the feedback on my last video. I play bass mainly, and I was playing guitar with Egypt, the reggae artist that I'm still waiting to find out if we actually are getting released or not. She's in Jamaica again, but I play reggae guitar with her. As you know, it's Chick Chick Chick. Well, we haven't done any gigs for I think I played a show with her at the beginning of this year, so I have not picked up a guitar until a day before I made that video, because the day before I was ripping along to this because that's how I learned how to play in the first place. I never took lessons on guitar. I learned by trying to copy what I could hear. And the first song I learned on the guitar, and I started on the guitar, between the guitar and the bass, was Heart of Gold by Neil Young. Still love that album. But Ghost Reveries by Opeth. I love the band Opeth, and this is probably one of my favorites besides Still Life. But I like to play their songs. They're so riff heavy, and they're good riffs. So I was using that to, not using it, I really enjoyed playing this music. Man, I like Opeth. I'm looking forward to receiving my copy of the new album. Thanks again, Anthony, for Ferraro. But I like Opeth so much that when I get to a point of listening to them, I kind of get into a jag. And it's like they get stuck in my head, so I have to keep playing them until it's like, okay, I'm done. Porcupine Tree is the same. Another band like that for me, which it's been a long time since they've done that, is Dead Can Dance, which is a whole different type of music. Well, actually, when something really hits me hard, I play it a lot. It's why I don't listen to Peter Gabriel at all, because when I was a big-time Genesis Peter Gabriel fan, when Peter's albums came out, since they would only come out every 5 years or so, I would intensely dissect them and just really become saturated with them. I love his music. He released a new song recently associated with some movie, and the song is called Every Bird. And it's like Peter Gabriel and us were old, so it doesn't even register on the in the mainstream media that the song is out, but it's a beautiful new Peter Gabriel song. I love it. Someone mentioned that I should bust out some shoegaze. I'll respond to that. Shoegaze is the type of music that I play on instruments when I'm in the mood. Heavy music and jazz, like John McLaughlin, I do try. I've learned a couple of his songs. That's what is fun for me to play almost any time. Yeah, my heavy roots come through. Is it still sitting out? My heavy roots definitely come through in my playing. You know, Blue Cheer, when Summertime Blues came out, you know, that ripped my head off. It's like, yeah, more of this, you know. One of my original guitar heroes is Leslie West of Mountain. He plays with such emotion, and I rate him much higher than much of the pantheon of rock guitarists. I rate him much higher than, for example, Eric Clapton. You know, Leslie West inspired me to want to play. So yeah, this has been on. I just played, just listened to the first track again this morning because it's like what do they call it? An audio, a worm hole in your ear or something. So I also find it interesting because I do notice, you know, the numbers on my videos as far as who watches. I find it interesting that people are apparently more interested in seeing what I'm seeing me than, say, for example, the Mark Burgess video. That video is still not been viewed by apparently the core of my viewers, you know, whereas my guitar video is almost up to 1,000 already, and that's kind of how my videos go. Usually within 24 hours, 1,000 people have watched them. You know, that's cool that people are interested in what I have to say. That's very cool. Thank you. Along those lines, right, I forget to mention, like the Adult Swim thing that I was doing. It's not that it's over, but they haven't requested anything. I talked to my friend just the other day about, he just had a baby and stuff, you know, that, and it's just an open door. So most likely I'll be on Adult Swim some more on the show Stupid Morning Bullshit, where they would have a segment of me doing this for a minute, recommending an old album. But I loved having the opportunity. You know, I really, really appreciate it. David, if you see this, thank you so much, brother. And your little baby, your new daughter, is just so cute. So cute. So I have not played a lot of records this week, but I'm going to show you the last few things that I played. I'll start with this. Played this all the way through. Now, I know about Black Uhuru's beginnings, and this is the end of Black Uhuru, or, you know, after the original lead singer is gone, and that's the stuff. That is the stuff. I can't even call his name right now. But I love Black Uhuru, and I actually am really into Ducky Simpson, this cat here, who's been there from the beginning. You know, I saw Black Uhuru too, and I was just really transfixed by this man's stage presence. His voice is cool too, but the way he moves and just, it's like I just could have just watched him. Hardly needed the rest of the band. Of course, the rest of the band was excellent too. But this is an album of theirs called Rise, where Don Carlos takes on the frontman's role. And this is not nearly as strong as the early stuff, you know, like Red and some of those early Black Uhuru records are just amazing. But I really enjoyed this and still like this album. I love reggae. A few days ago, I had this on in the living room when my brother stopped by, you know, and made him listen to it with me because he always wants to hear jazz. In and Out of Focus, I have a UK or a European pressing of this too, which has a different cover. I might actually just grab it right quick because I know it's right there. I love Focus. I love this album. Yeah, see, I can spot it right away. So easy. This is the original version, or it's the European version of this album, with an extra cool cover where you see the dots. When you're up close, you don't see this, but thankfully here, you see that. See where it says Focus? Good album. I really like Focus. And of course, Hocus Pocus was our introduction to the band, and the blazing guitar of Jan Ackerman, which is what really pulled me in. It's the Hocus Pocus riff is a great riff. I like riffs. But it's that guitar playing of Jan Ackerman's that really hooked me. And then once I got the album, it's like, oh, I love this music. Moving Waves, it's a great album, great album. I was online a little bit yesterday and saw someone post this album, and I said, oh, okay, I haven't listened to this really since it was given to me. Not really. This is a great pop album, and which reminds me to bring up something else, see? But the Church of Skins and Heart. This is an Australian pressing. My good friend Randy Lemasters gave this to me. It reminds me to say something about the woman who was the lead singer of the Muffs who just died. What's her name? Jill or something? Rest in peace. Was I a fan? No, but that gives me a good chance to kind of talk about that. That band, the Muffs, meant a lot to a ton of my friends, and it turns out that a few of my friends, including the drummer from RAF, got to hang with them, and he was really excited to share that, he got to get high with her one time. Their version of American pop is exactly that. I like pop, I like pop punk or whatever you want to call it, but their version to me was not even second, third, it was more like a sixth generation version of the kind of American pop that I grew up on and no longer interests me. Very similar to my reaction to a lot of blues and R&B that people are way into, but I'm just over it. I've just heard way too much of it. The things that prick my interest about pop are really not straight ahead, and their music to me just was like real straight ahead. Like people ask me every now and then about the Pixies. I know that the Pixies inspired a lot of English bands that I like better than the Pixies, but I understand why. I only have 1 or 2 records by the Pixies. I never listened to them. I saw the Pixies live twice back in their original days, okay? And I got it. That's why I went and saw them a second time. I get it, okay? But it's not the kind of, what they do is not what I am drawn to listen to. And frankly, when I saw the Pixies live, both times, the most exciting part for me was watching the drummer. And the second most interesting person on stage to me was Kim Darling, the bass player. Cool lady. I met her twin. I have a picture of me with her twin when I saw her with O-Ring, her band O-Ring. I kind of like the Breeders a little better overall than the Pixies, okay? So there you go. But rest in peace, singer of the Muffs. She was in the Pixies too. But I'll tell you, when I also should have grabbed it because I was thinking about sharing this. When I first saw the name The Muffs, I said, oh, wow, the Muffs are getting through. The Muffs are an Australian or New Zealand band that I somehow discovered by taking a chance on one of their singles. And I love this single, particularly the B-side, By the Breeze. That's my kind of soft pop song. I like that way better than the Muffs. Just want you to know. Okay, what else have I played recently? Because it ain't been much. Well, it hasn't. Here's one. So I'll do a poll before I go. A band called Deleted Scenes. I think they're originally out of the East Coast. The lead guy, Dan, relocated or is originally from Omaha or something like that. But anyway, Dan lives here in Omaha. And we got to be friendly. I was working with his wife for a while when I was a resident artist at the Bemis while she worked there. She really liked her a lot. But this is a single by Deleted Scenes, Stutter. And this is good. They sound to me like a post, I have to try to describe this for you, sort of like a post-punk Radiohead sound, almost on the edge of being kind of progressive. I like this. They gave me their album too. It's back there. Deleted Scenes. Just pulled it and decided to play it, and I was like, yeah, this is good. I'm looking down here and see if there's anything down here I may have forgotten to show before I go and do a pull. I had a Buddy Miles record sitting out, and I must have put it away because I thought to myself, well, I ought to talk about that Buddy Miles, but I put it away again. Well, yeah, so I'll talk about this right quick. So Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds have a new album out, Ghostine. I love the cover of it. I've listened to a couple of tracks. I love the musical arrangements. I have some Birthday Party and Nick Cave. I don't listen to it because I'm not into this dark thing that he's into, which is what everyone's into, you know. But I'll tell you this, and I pull this to make the point. I've never seen Nick Cave live. If I had the opportunity to experience him live, my perception, I'm sure, would grow, because that's really where certain types of, that's where music for me really can happen, is if I can experience you sharing what it is you're about with me directly, it'll come through if there's anything there. And Nick Cave is intense, and he is good, and he has my respect. But as you know, I listen to the music for the music, not for the stories. My good friend Frank, hadn't seen him in a long time, and we were visiting not that long ago, and he was saying, you know, I just love the stories. We vibe on music in a lot of ways, but that's the difference, is that I'm going for the music and he's going for the stories. So the new Nick Cave, musically, I think is wonderful, okay? And obviously the stories are wonderful too, because that's what he's known for. But that's what I want to say about that, okay? And the parallel is like this band that I just played for, A Vulture Wake. I would not have bought this record if I had just heard it in the record store or online. Because what they're doing, they're very good at what they do. But I've heard it before, and that's no diss to this band. But because I got to experience their intensity and their, I would say, their commitment to what they're doing, it was like it hit me like a ton of bricks. And I've played this a few times since the show, and I bought it, and I liked it. It's not something that I'll often want to play. Unlike, say, for example, music that really kicked my ass when it started and kicked all this stuff off, like the Ramones. I can get into a mood and really enjoy some listening to the Ramones easily. Okay? So, just besides doing a poll, there's a couple things I just want to just let people know that I know about and have and love. Someone asked me about Joe Bryant. I did have his first album, and in my sale this year, I looked to see. I sold it because he was no David Bowie. It was because he was openly gay, and with his look. Those were the Bowie references. He was a musician. I have him in the band he was in before he went solo. He was in a band called Pigeon, and he plays this classical piano and harpsichord, and it's wonderful on the album. But the Joe Bryant, I sold it. I think I still have a CD of Joe Bryant. I'm not going to go look for it now. But Killing Joke, I respect them, but I just, and I've got maybe a CD or two. But they were a band I wish I had seen in their heyday. I know they're still going. But I was not compelled to start collecting them. Public Image, I'm thinking of you, Dave, actually. I know you watch. You've mentioned that those are your bands. I loved Pill when they first came out. I bought the single with the newspaper. Damn it, I sold it. I do regret selling records, people. I do. You know, there was a time when I had some amazing records. You know, I had the Pill aluminum box. When it came out, I bought it. I dug it, but it was also a transitory thing where, you know, had I been able to keep my mind together, I would not have sold that or the Joy Division, the factory sampler. I got good money for that, even though I sold it ages ago. And my copy was actually trashed because I played the Joy Division side till it was white. And I still got a real good price for it. But I just want to just acknowledge, I know and love the good shit. That's why I don't have any Kiss records. They're a mediocre ass band. Don't come at me with talking about Kiss. Fuck those guys, okay? Yeah, I met him. I've told the story many times. I met Gene Simmons and Paul Stanley before they were unmasked and recognized him. Went up to him, pissed Paul Stanley off. You're Paul Stanley. Pissed him off. Okay. I do enjoy sharing this stuff with you. And I enjoy a good cup of coffee. Okay. Pull time, pull time, pull time. There are records I do want to show, but I do know that the polling is interesting because you just don't know. So here we go. Here we go. And one of these days I'm going to be pulling the same records. Okay, here's one that was given to me by, I think, through John Dawson. Thank you, John. Thank you, Gripweeds, because, again, this is an example where they're doing, to me, it's like almost a tribute to the sound of Beatles era and right after pop music. This is the album How I Won the War. Now, I think, if I remember, this is possibly a concept, but I kept this because it's good. It's a keeper. I don't keep all the records that people give me. There was a time when I tried to, and then it's space. People do give me records that I don't like, you know. I kept that one. Let's go down here. This down here. Oh, that's Pat Metheny. Let's go back here. See, I know exactly what's on this shelf, but let's go here. I think back here is in the MCs, possibly John McLaughlin. I think that's what I see. Yep. See, I do. I mean, stuff gets lost in here, but for the most part, just like the veins on your hand, you kind of know them. Music spoken here. John McLaughlin is one of my favorite guitar players, along with Alan Holdsworth. I love what he does. Love him. Love him. I have seen him in concert twice. Amazing. One time was the second version of the Mahavishnu Orchestra, which was still just amazing, with Jean-Luc Ponty and Narada, Michael Walden, and all those amazing players in the band. It was killer. Okay, let's go again. Back here. No, we'll go here. See, again, I know what stuff is, but I'm just going to try. Okay, here's one I haven't played in a while, but I love this sort of thing. This is a split LP. One side is the Hafler Trio, Sound Explorers. They do some really interesting things with sound and concept as well. So this side is the Hafler Trio. I can't even hardly say the title. It looks like it's, you know, Ben Ruach Ab Sharoshasem Yikad Taubado. See? That side, and then the other side is Luciano Dari. And this is good stuff too. Not at all like the Hafler Trio, but intense. I would call like contemporary, modern, not classical, Musica Maxima Magnetica. I'm gonna have to play this one again. I just know that my memory of it is this is powerful. Good stuff. Hafler Trio, I've got more of their records. I think this is down in my area that's near Passport. No, it's Osric Tentacles. Jurassic Shift. I don't think I've really talked about this band. I saw them. Really liked them, but you know, the whole time I saw them, all I could think was, boy, they're just ripping gong off. They're good, you know, they're good. But it's the gong thing mixed with kind of the jam band thing. And the jam band thing just... bores me to listen to. It would be fun to play along with them, but like that's why I don't have any Widespread Panic. I've seen them twice. Mo, String Cheese Incident. I understand the appeal of those bands, and I have a lot of friends who love that stuff. Bores the shit out of me to listen to. It really does. I would rather play it. Okay? Kind of like the Grateful Dead. I've seen the Grateful Dead too, thankfully. I've talked about that in the past. I'm glad I saw them, but no, I don't want to hear no damn Grateful Dead. I'm going to keep this one. Well, hell, it's just what it is. I'll just do one more, okay? Because I guess I'm just realizing I just may as well just pull some stuff to show. The pulls, I know you'll like them, but it's like I do really know what my stuff is. So, back here again, all right? Right here, right here. I'll take a couple and see what we come up with. Oh. Okay. What did we get? This is a pile. Here's the first thing. Okay. Dave Liebman, sax player. I first became aware of him because he was in the band 10 Wheel Drive. Then he went on to play with Miles Davis and lots of people. Lighten Up, Please. This is an album of his that came out on the A&M Horizons label. I remember when A&M was trying to do this boutique label thing like ECM. Everyone tried to jump on the ECM bandwagon. This is a good album. It's got a lot of funk, actually. This is good stuff. He always plays with good people. Dave Liebman. And this is another one where it's like, you can always find this cheap. I've gone through a couple copies of this, getting a better copy because I could always find it for $1. This is the one that of his. He's probably got another one that is highly recommended, but this is real good. Drum Ode by Dave Liebman on ECM. This is real dynamite. Really good. The guy can play. I mean, you know, he played with Miles. John Abercrombie's on here, Bob Moses, Barry Altschul, Colin Walcott, Ray Armando. He just played with the best. It's a good cover too, isn't it? Dave Liebman, Drum Ode. What's the next thing here? Okay, this is cool. Lichens. 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 That's the... I've met this guy. I've seen Lichens. I've seen him twice. Opening for Hot Chip once and once for Tortoise. And this is very, not experimental, but it's like it's out there. It's out there. I'd have to play this in order to describe it better to you. I love this, that it does not have an immediate frame of reference. Really different. Lichens. Cool guy. Cool guy. I forget his name. I have another one of his here. I have to put my glasses on so I can read the fucking things. Restoration of Temperament. Lichens. And once again, there's one where it's like, oh, I think this is a split LP. I think it is. Once again, I need to leave these out and play them. But off the top of my head, if you're interested in discovering stuff that you don't know, here you go. Lichens. Lichens. And the last thing I pulled was this. It's beat and shot because I got it when it came out. I think as a promo. Libra, Italian band that got released. It's a progressive rock band, but they are really funky and they can really play. Super chops. As a result, they got their album released in America on Motown. How about that? An Italian progressive rock band on the American label Motown. And yeah, I got this as a promo somehow. And the instrumental passages on here are dynamite. Absolutely. When they shut the singer up, and I have no interest in the singing. The singing is on here to me is terrible. But all of the instrumental passages are killer. And the way the album ends with the track Pollution, yeah. This is real good music. Prague. Love it. Okay. I'm going to keep it there, folks. I'm going to keep it there. And have a good day, evening, whatever it is when you see this. I'll talk to you again soon.